Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of InvoNews. I'm Nabeel Ahmed and I'm joined with Mohammed Naeem. How are you doing?
I'm good, Nabeel. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. So, Mohammed Naeem, how would you introduce yourself? You're a CEO of many things, but more greatly, we would like to talk about, which is Sakeenah. So, tell us about the idea of Sakeenah and how did you first come up with the thing and why did you have to make it?
That's correct. So, like you said, my name is Mohammed, and I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Sakeenah. Sakeenah is a very unique and interesting idea for multiple reasons. One of the core issues the world is facing these days, in fact, at the increased pace, is mental well-being, mental health. Everybody is, and one of the key reasons is COVID. So, Sakeenah primarily addresses mental well-being, mental health problems of a specific community across the globe, and that community is Muslims. Yeah, almost 25% of world population struggle with one or another mental well-being problem, and out of that, 475 million Muslims are also struggling with this issue. So the whole idea of Sakeenah is to address mental well-being and mental health problem at various levels. So we can talk about those levels at later stage when we go into that.
Right. All right. So, as it is a mental health wellness app, how does it stand out like compared to the others in the market?
Okay, so let me just clarify it. Sakeenah is not an app, it is a platform. So we always call it a platform. And like I said earlier, that there are multiple solutions that we are offering. Now, coming back to your question, how different we are. Currently, there are 2,000 different apps. Now, I'll use the word app, revolving around meditation and mindfulness. How we differentiate ourselves? There are multiple reasons. There are multiple points. So first of all, we are addressing a specific audience, Muslims. We are the first one having this unique solution, or at least we were the first one offering this unique solution where we kind of created marriage between modern science and religion. So Muslims generally are inclined towards their religion, no matter how practicing and non-practicing they are. At the same time, there's a lot of misconception going around the basic self-care concept, which is meditation and mindfulness. Muslims associated with other religions like Zennism, Buddhism, and in fact, Hinduism as well. But whereas if we go deep into Quran or even in Islamic literature, meditation comes from Islamic background. It's quite interesting. I was having a few months back, I was having a chat with one of the famous scholars of Islam, of the Mang, and he asked me the same question, that when Prophet Muhammad was not announced as a prophet, what he used to do at Cave Hira. And I was like, pray. And I was like, what pray? Because he was not announced as a prophet. He was like, it was just a reflection. So reflection comes into meditation as well. So the first difference in between, in terms of Sakeenah as a platform, other is that our audience. We're offering a solution which is very much centric to their belief system. Having said that, it doesn't mean that it's not for other faiths. In fact, we have users from other faiths, like especially from Christianity, people from Spain, from Mexico. So that's the first difference. Second difference is we are offering comprehensive solutions. So starting from self-care to community support and then clinical solutions. So Sakeenah has three verticals. The first vertical is more of a guided content revolving around self-care, mindfulness, meditation, breathing, dealing with basic issues of anxiety, depression. Then it goes to second tier, where we're trying to kind of destigmatize the problem of mental health in Muslim community. People either don't know they're going through a certain problem in their life when it comes to mental well-being. If they're aware, they have no idea how to deal with that. They have no one to talk to, or if they have someone to talk to, they have concern, they have fear that what people would think about it. So we came with the second solution vertical, which we call it Insan. It's a community support group where we can go and talk about your problem anonymously. Someone within the community would come forward and help you. That platform, that vertical is heavily regulated and kind of moderated as well. So to make sure that everything is in control. Third one is more exciting. It is more of a clinical solution. So currently, I'll give an example. In Pakistan, on population of 220 million people, there are 5,000 qualified psychiatrists. It's a very small number. At the same time, the impact is, those 5,000 are kind of cluttered in major cities. And the problem is not only the number of psychiatrists, problem is awareness as well. So what we did is we are working on a platform, vertical actually, where we'll be giving access to people as an aggregator model to these qualified therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists living anywhere in the world, so that they can use it within their comfort. Either they're sitting in the office, in their home, bedroom, without disclosing their problem to anyone within the community. And
Right.
also cost effective. Sorry, let me complete that part. The cost effectiveness is also there. It is because currently in USA it costs you $250 for 45 minutes of session, where it is a financially burden. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to reduce that part as well.
So coming to that cost-effective topic, so one user can denote from this that Sakeenah is not a free platform to use. So what's the reason behind making it a sort of a cost-effective solution?
So Sakeenah, it's a great question. So Sakeenah primarily is a social impact-driven initiative. At the same time, it has a commercial aspect as well. Currently, we are offering 30% of our content free of cost to the people. So if you are, just trying to get a feeler that it is for you, it is helping you, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of solutions that are being offered for free. If you want to go into more depth, into details, and of course, there's a price tag for that. There's a pricing, there's a subscription fee, but primarily just to start with, just to get to know yourself and just get to know that is it really for you, we're offering 30% of content free to anyone. At the same time, we are working on plans and programs where we are going to integrate ourselves with public sector, where if somebody is, I'll give an example of the UK. So in the UK, we are integrating with NHS. What it means by NHS is that if you are jobless and going through a certain phase in your life, you can get recommended by NHS and we'll give you subscription for free. So we have the both parts integrated, that yes, as a social impact driven, the whole idea of mental health is very close to my heart because of some obvious and personal reasons. So that's why we are trying to keep both parts alive so that business is sustainable, but at the same time, it is beneficial to society as well.
Right. So how do you describe the process when somebody tries the app the first time?
So there's it's an evolution of the platform for Sakeenah. If you go into typical mindfulness meditation app, you just need to register using your own details or use privacy as an Apple, whatever you want to, and then you can quickly jump into the platform and app and see that what you want to do. Whereas with Sakeenah, we have smartly, our team has done something which we call it onboarding process. So once you download it, after you register, it asks you a few basic questions about your personal life. This is a very confidential data, by the way. If a user is filling that information, nobody has access to that data. So it asks you what's your age in terms of bracket, how you felt in the last 1 week. Are you religiously inclined? Are you not inclined? What are your emotions and all these things? So once you fill in that, then the machine learning based on that information pushes the relevant content to you that probably this will be relevant to you. I'll give an example. If I go through that, and one of the question a platform asked me that, are you having a trouble in sleeping, and how frequent you're having this problem? I say 2 to 3 times in a week. Then if there is a synergy in terms of my answers, there's a pattern. The platform would eventually push content which is revolving around either breathing or around sleep stories, so that I can can benefit out of it and be very specific to solve my problem. At the same time, there is within the platform, there is a very interesting feature which is self-journaling. So in my opinion, when you are going through a certain phase in life, call it anxiety, depression, stress, the first thing, in business, we say the first thing is to identify the problem. Same goes to your personal, personal health as well, mental health or physical health, trying to know the problem. So we have created a self-journaling feature where you go and talk talk about yourself, how you felt today. Are you angry? Are you happy? What makes you angry? What made you, happy? And then you can track your journey, that how you were in last 30 days. And based on that, the more you are aware about yourself, the better you feel in day-to-day life.
That sounds amazing. One of the most interesting part of that answer was that you incorporated technology as an AI into the app. Um, it's kind of interesting as to how technology becomes incorporated in this sort of execution, which is mental health. How would you um, how would you excuse me uh, right. Right. Excuse me. Sorry, my app got frozen there for a second. Okay.
Sure.
I think I'll just cut this part out. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'll just repeat my question. Part of your app is incorporates AI into tailoring what a person needs in their routine or regimen. So how important do you feel as a startup into incorporating tech, and how important it is if you, as a startup, if you don't incorporate tech? How do you
I think
respond to that?
Yeah, so technology is becoming a vital part of everybody's day-to-day life, but at the same time, for startups and businesses as well. It is helping every business, call it any industry, in multiple ways. Call it supply chain, call it FMCG, call it hardcore activations, brand activation, all these things. Artificial intelligence, machine learning always help. When it comes to Sakeenah and mental health, mental well-being, technology is helping in multiple ways. One is, it is beyond boundaries now. It is beyond borders. Now, sitting in Dubai, I can help. I can seek help from someone sitting in Canada, USA, UK. Whereas sitting in Pakistan, you can get some help from UAE. So that's a part of reach. When it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning, of course, it's a most fascinating part. I still believe human mind, human brain has the the own capacity to deal with this sort of things, but it gives an edge in terms of understanding, in terms of prediction, in terms of looking at the data and creating a pattern that what should be the next. So of course, mental well-being and mental health is a very fresh industry. It's a very new industry, which is unfortunately going to grow. I'll use the word unfortunately because nobody would be happy and excited if somebody is going through anxiety or depression. But this is the reality of our daily, digital world. The more we are exposed to the, things that which are kind of not supposed to, unwanted, not needed, more we will become, kind of problematic in terms of any issue related to mental well-being and mental health. So it is going to, the data-driven approach in terms of mental health, with the help of machine learning and artificial intelligence, is going to take a lead in next 3 to 5 years.
Right. So how would you list down the reasons why a startup would fail if they didn't incorporate such things?
I think it's not just failure does not depend on one part. It is failure. It comes when you do repetitive mistakes, you keep doing something wrong. I think the first thing when it comes to startup is your kind of resilience, or you can say that, having a belief that yes, it is possible and we are going to do that. So first thing is self-belief in yourself and the team as well, not looking at external factors. Now, other things that make startup fail is getting stuck with your own idea and not looking at the feedback, not looking at the community, and not looking at the users, that what exactly is required. The moment you become associated, the moment you become kind of, kind of obsessed with your own idea and not ready to tweak it, to alter it as per the requirement of your target audience, you are meant to fail. So it is very important to keep learning and keep tweaking without having emotional association, obsession with your core idea. So that's the second reason I believe it's startup failed. One of the key important parts is financial aspect as well, and the third part is speed. In startups, you gotta move very fast, and you gotta once you move fast, you gotta make mistakes, but you gotta learn from those mistakes, and then uh, do things in a better way. But if you keep doing things in a slow pace and trying to perfect everything, you will not reach to the point where you're supposed to reach in time. So there are multiple reasons that make a startup, fail or succeed.
That's well put. Especially talking about finance, Sakeenah recently was named one of the top healthcare startups in Dubai. So, how is this achievement for you, and how do you plan on making it more successful internationally?
Yeah, so Sakeenah was named as one of the top, I believe, 40 healthcare startups in the UAE. So for us, it's a big achievement from the vision which we call a social impact driven startup. So it is touching people's life. Now, I always say that Sakeenah is not selling a product. We don't sell juice. We don't sell technology. We don't sell consumer product. We don't solve business problem. We don't resolve any inventory problem. We don't resolve supply chain problem. We don't resolve any fintech or financial problem. We are in business of emotions. I always say that. And when you're in business of emotions, it is always very challenging to keep up with the people's expectation, making sure that you're having a positive impact at people's life. At the same time, keep growing as well. So for us, being named as one of the top 40 healthcare startup is a huge achievement. How it's helping us, it's primarily helping us to build the community who need this sort of solution. And of course, we are expanding, we are growing at a very fast pace. As of now, our growth has been pretty much organic, but now we have started working on other channels in terms of marketing, community building, and all these things. We are focused on specific markets to start with, and eventually would be coming to other markets, likes of markets where language is a barrier.
Right. Now, talking about your marketing, interestingly enough, where you have won the award, which is Dubai, 30% of your downloads come from Asia and the Middle East, whereas 70% come from the West. So,
Yes.
how would you explain the reason for this? And as a
So
CEO,
yes,
how would you work on the marketing to expand that reach?
I think, like I mentioned in the beginning, for us, it has been our growth has been pretty much organic for last few months. When it comes to our growth in terms of 70-30, it's 60-40 actually. 60% of our audience and downloads come from Western markets, where 40% comes from Asian. And when I say Asia, I cover Middle East as well. Now, why it's higher in Western market and low in Asian markets? One of the key reason is awareness about the problem. People living in West, they are more aware about the problem, and they are willing to work around the solutions as well. They're willing to try and see that what's going to help them. Second is technology. When I say technology, it doesn't mean that people they have more smartphones, and Asian people living in Asian markets, they don't have a smartphone. They have smartphone as well, but kind of a willingness to try, and accessibility is better. And third reason is, of course, purchasing parity. Although we have free subscription, 30% content, 30% solutions are free, but at the same time, there's a price tag, there's a subscription fee. So people living in Western markets, they have a better purchasing power, and that's why we have higher downloads and user base from Western market. But what we are doing moving forward is we're trying to integrate other languages, mainly in Arabic, Urdu, Hindi, and Malay, that would expand our market from just being English to multilingual, and also trying to work around on pricing as well.
Right. So, as a regular user scrolling the internet, how would a person stumble upon Sakeenah the first time?
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating your question?
I mean, as a user who's scrolling the internet, how would a person find Sakeenah? How would they find Sakeenah through marketing?
I think, like I said, so far it has been word of mouth and organic reach. I'm using Sakeenah, I'm benefiting out of it, and I recommend it to someone, and then it goes on and on. And the second part is we did certain paid activities through Instagram, Facebook, and all these things. Primarily, the way I look at Sakeenah is building a community around Sakeenah. So excuse me. So I see Sakeenah down the line in 5 years, a part of a family, and that's why we named it Sakeenah. Father is using it, mother is using it, brother is using it, daughter or sister is using it. So it becomes part of a family's life that Sakeenah is there to help in one or another way. So that's how we see it. How marketing is going to help, of course. There are multiple paid channels, there are organic channels. So we're just trying to integrate every aspect into it so that there's a strong communication around the whole concept and idea.
Right. Talking about especially your long-term plan for Sakeenah to be the first app that comes to everyone's minds, especially when half the world is still in that mindset that mental health is a taboo to talk about. So how do you approach the subject using technology that people become more comfortable to talk about mental health?
I think that's why I have kept using the word community times and again. Community building. It's all about social taboo. It can be one of the way to work around social taboo is community building, making it okay, making it normal to talk about it. If I'm being stressed, it should be okay to work about it at my workplace. It should be okay to talk to my boss that what, I'm being stressed because of XYZ reason, because of overwork, because of XYZ reason. It should be okay to talk to my father that I'm going through depression for various reasons. It should be okay to talk to my mother or brother, whereas that's not the case right now. And that's why community building and making it a norm is going to help us to reach where we are aiming to reach. Though clinically 475 million Muslims are struggling with mental well-being issues, but I feel that it's not 475 million, it's literally every second person, and maybe every person is having one or another issue. Although mental health is a very strong word, so I always use word mental well-being. Stress is very common. Everybody faces stress. How do we deal with stress? A lot of time when I ask this question from people, they say, well, they don't know, right? So they don't know if they have a stress. But what stress does, to me, it's like slow poison. Stress causes you other clinical problem, physical issues. I mean, personally, stress caused me, kind of a dietary issues. I became allergic to milk-related products. I became allergic to gluten, despite the fact that I have a very healthy lifestyle. And I went through extensive medical checkups, but eventually what doctor said that you have a stress. The moment you manage your stress, your life is going to be easy. And that's what happened. So I feel that every person is having one or other issue. How are we going to deal about it? How are we going to deal about it? First thing is awareness. And that awareness is going to come from community building. Second is working towards solution that, yes, to me, at times I always say that Sakeenah should become a Panadol when it comes to mental well-being and mental health. And why I say that, when you have a headache in the morning, the first thing you think of is Panadol, because you think it's a solution. And it actually is not a kind of permanent solution, but at least it helps you to get through your day. And that's what we are trying to position ourselves, that Sakeenah becomes a Panadol when it comes to mental well-being. Use it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning, and you will feel great, and it will help you to get through your day. And then there's always another day. So that's how we are doing it. It's a mixture of community building, it's a mixture of other paid activities and all these things.
Living as a CEO right now, how would you describe, let's say, the new well-being routine to be successful?
A lot of people say routine is boring, but I think one of the key things in your life is routine, a discipline. That has a lot of benefits, as a direct benefits and byproducts as well. Sleeping at a specific time, getting up at a specific time it makes you more productive. It makes you more focused, and also it helps you to achieve more in short time. I come across these days to a lot of startup founders or CEOs probably one of the famous names as well, that we don't have a routine. But if you look at some of the other names like Sir Bill Gates, um, uh, Mark Zuckerberg, etc. So they have a routine. So I always believe that routine is very important, and that brings discipline. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I go to bed sharp at 10:30, because for me that's it. End of discussion, end of word. And that's how it should help. Of course, being CEO, it is challenging, but I guess that's how it works. You gotta work around your challenges and make sure that you get whatever you want to in that time frame that you have allocated it.
Right. There's a very interesting quote. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. How would you answer on that? Are you a reader yourself?
That's 100% correct. I'm not the avid reader. I don't read a lot, but I do read, and I think uh, it's not just about reading. I think it's a your mind frame. It's your mindset. How you. I think the moment you start looking at things in their own context, the moment you start looking, even if you're watching a movie, if you're watching a drama, if you are watching a TV show, if you have intention to learn something, you're going to learn something out of it, right? But if you don't, then no matter how great the book is, you won't you just for the sake of reading it, it's going to help. But I completely agree with you that great leaders are the readers. But at the same time, I think it's just not the reading, it's every aspect of your life, your observation, your looking at things in specific contexts always help you to learn one another thing.
So that being said, what book are you currently reading?
There's a book called, so I get taken a lot of inspiration from different people. So I at the time I read a couple of books, and one of the books that I'm reading is called Self-Love. It's written by a scholar based out of UK. So it's interesting book. It's a one-liner, and it talks about a problem and tries to work around on solution as well, that how you should be dealing with a specific problem. But at the same time, I try to read 2 books at a time so that I don't get bored.
Right. 2 books at a time. That's takes a skill, especially. Anyway, thank you so much, Naeem, for your time. People who are watching this channel, please do check out Sakeenah as well. So we'll join you for another episode next time. Please tune in. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Right. Thank you so much again.